Jai Hind to all. Myself Dr. Uma Sharma, Assistant Professor in EC Department of Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today in this lecture we will discussing the amplifier models, and after discussing the amplifier model, here we will discuss the different feedbacks to the amplifier model. So before proceeding with the feedbacks, let us first classify the amplifiers. Basically, amplifier is an important topic of analog circuits. Depending on the input and output, we can classify the amplifier into 4 categories. The first category is the voltage amplifier, this one, that depends on the input signal and output signal. Second category is the current amplifier, again depends on input and output, and based on the input output further we can classify the amplifier into transconductance and transresistance amplifier. Now see the voltage amplifier modeling. So basically the amplifier where the input signal is voltage, that is Vi, and output signal is also a voltage signal, is known as voltage amplifier. Here the term amplifier stand for this gain factor A. So here we will get output as A into Vi. So that means the input signal gets amplified with a factor of A. This is known as amplification factor. Now this symbolic representation of voltage amplifier can be represented by its equivalent circuit model. So to model any circuit, first we have to replace that symbol by its equivalent electrical parameters. So here we are having two sides. One is, because it's a two-port network, like here one port is represented as input port and second port is represented as output port. So to model the input side, here you can see that the input signal, which is a voltage signal, is generated through a voltage source, that is Vs, and this Rs represents the internal resistance of this voltage source. This is the input impedance of this amplifier. So this Ri represents the input impedance of amplifier, and here this is the voltage signal Vi, which we have drawn from this voltage source Vs. So this is how we can represent this input part. This is the modeling of input, where we have replaced this input port by its equivalent resistor and the voltage signal. Now come to the output side. Here you can see that output signal is a voltage, that means the input signal is amplified by a factor of A, and at the output we are getting a voltage signal. So here this AB is used as a amplification factor because it's a voltage amplification, so V is written over here. That this is the representation of voltage source. If we draw this plus minus, then it represents it's a voltage source. It is dependent because this depends on the V input, so that's why this is the representation of dependent voltage source. So here from this analogy we can see that the output will equals to amplification factor multiplied by the input voltage. Because this is a voltage source, so definitely it should have output impedance or its corresponding impedance. So this Ro is to model the output resistance of this node output. So this is Ro, and this is this RL is the load resistance, and across this RL we can get the output signal. So this is how we can model this symbol into the electrical circuit. This is the modeling of voltage amplifier, because here input is voltage, output is voltage, so this is known as voltage amplifier. Now here you can see that there are two conditions to basically to achieve the highest gain amplification, that R input should be, this R input should be very greater than to Rs. Now just understand the concept of this R input greater than very greater than to Rs. If this Rs is very less, that means the current will flow from this resistance very easily and the loss is very less across this Rs. Ideally, if Rs is 0, in that case that can be represented with a short circuit, and if it is short circuit then I can write Vs is equals to Vi. But in this case, if Ri is very greater than to Rs, I can write V input is nearly equals to Vs. This concept is known as impedance matching. Here we have matched the impedance such that there is minimum loss from supply voltage to the input signal node. So this is how you can see that why this R input should be very high in case of voltage amplifier, so that minimum loss of input signal. Now come to the output side. Here it is written that R output should be very less. So obviously if RO is very less, if this is very less, that means complete output which is generated at the output node will be transferred at the output. So in case of voltage amplifier, input impedance should be very high and output impedance should be very low. So this is how you can see from here, V input is nearly equals to Vs and V output is nearly equals to AV into I, or you can say AV into Vs, where there is a small difference between V input and Vs. Vs is the source signal and V input is the input voltage at the input terminal of the amplifier. So this is how we can find the expression for voltage gain V output upon V input. If we represent this RL by infinite resistance, then it is known as open circuit voltage gain. So this is how you can implement the amplifier model for voltage amplifier. Now come to the second category, that is the current amplifier. And for the current amplifier, you can see from this diagram, if the amplification is to be done of current, that means input signal should equals to current signal and definitely output signal will be a current signal. Then only we can say that the amplification factor or the amplification of the signal is current amplification. So in current amplifier, input signal is current and output signal is also a current. So now let's see how we can model this current amplifier, and obviously this block represent amplification and you can write this gain factor, because here also the output will equals to amplification factor multiplied by the input signal. So this is the output expression for current amplifier. Now let's see how we can design the AC equivalent model or equivalent circuit for current amplifier. So in current amplifier, the current is generated through a current source, that is Is, and I hope you know that for current source the resistance must be in parallel with that, whereas in case of the voltage source the resistance should be in series of that particular voltage source. So here this Rs is in parallel with this current source, that represents the internal resistance of this supply, whereas this Ri and this dotted box basically represent the modeling of this symbol. So here you can see that the input impedance is represented by Ri, output impedance is represented by Ro. Because this is current amplifier, so this is the symbol of current source. This is dependent current source because the output current is, that is I naught, is dependent on the input current. So the magnitude of this current source is Ai into Ii, and RL is obviously load resistance. So now let's see what are these two conditions for resistance in case of current amplifier. This is the simple model for current amplifier. So for current amplification the situation is reversed. Now you can see that R input is very less than 2 Rs. This condition must be satisfy for the proper impedance matching. What happens if our input is very high? In that case, the complete current flow in this, and that means there is a maximum loss of the input signal, but we want that maximum current will supply at the input terminal. So, if for that case this resistance must be as high as possible. If it is infinite, that means no current will flow in this. So, that means our input should be very low as compared to this RS. If it is infinite, in that case it's okay, but ideally it is not possible to design a current source where impedance is infinite. So, in that case we can set this input impedance at as low as possible. So, if input impedance is less, then definitely current will follow this path and we will get the maximum current in our input. So, this is how we can see why this condition is required for the current amplifier design. Now come to the output side. So, this is the modeling of the output side of this current amplifier. In this modeling you can see that the output resistance will be represented in parallel with the current source, and here again you can see the condition for resistance. If RO is very greater than, in that case the complete current, if RO is very greater than, then complete current will flow in RL, and obviously we want that complete current will reach at the output node. So, this is how you can explain this point, and from here you can identify or you can find the equation of current amplification, that is AI, current amplification factor. So, here the I output is represented as I output upon I input. With RL equals to 0, you can say that this is the short circuit current gain. Now, let us see the third configuration, that is the transconductance amplifier, and just see the block diagram of this transconductance amplifier. Here input signal is voltage, whereas the output signal is a current signal. So, now you can find the gain of this circuit, and this gain is represented by the transconductance, because this gain factor, which is let us say represented by GM, can be written as I output upon V input. So, current upon voltage is represented as transconductance, and here the amplification factor is transconductance. That is why this amplifier configuration is known as transconductance amplifier. Now, let us see the modeling of this amplifier. Here input is a voltage signal, that means this can be represented as a voltage source, and for the voltage source the resistance should be in the series with the supply voltage. So, here you can see that this RS is connected in series. This dashed line in a rectangle represents the modeling of this particular symbol. So, here this is same in each configuration. You have seen voltage and current amplifier. Here also you have seen that for the voltage amplifier or current amplifier, both the cases this RI represented at the input side. Here is a voltage source that depends on the input signal. If it is voltage, then it is represented by voltage signal. If it is current, then represented by a current source, and this direction shows it is a current source. If it is written as plus minus, that represents it is a voltage source. So, it is a current source, and if it is a current source, then obviously the resistance will be represented in parallel with this current source. So, this is how you can draw the model of this transconductance amplifier. The position of RL is same. Now, for this also you have to derive the condition for the resistance. That means you should know what should be the condition of RS and R input for the effective design of any particular amplifier. So, in case of this transconductance amplifier, this R input should be as greater than as RS. There is a thumb rule. If it is a voltage signal at the input, you can remember like this: if voltage signal is at input node, that means input impedance should be high, this Ri should be high, because whenever this Rs is very very less than, that means the total current will flow with this Ri. Whereas in case of current source, because in current source Rs is connected in parallel, so in current source R input should be as less as possible. So for voltage input, input resistance should be high, for current input the input resistance should be low. So this is how you can understand this condition. Similarly for the output side, output is a current, so definitely we do not want to waste our current signal in this node, because we want the complete current will pass at the output side. So that means RO should be as high as possible. So this RO should be infinite in ideal situation, because it is a current source. So I hope you understood this concept. So in that case, if we apply these conditions, then definitely the I output will equals to this current multiplied by the if I am talking about current only, then this will equals to Gm into Vi, and if I calculate voltage at this node, then definitely this current multiplied by the resistance. So here I can write I output is equals to Gm into Vi, and this is how I can calculate the amplification factor. And as it is a transconductance amplifier, though amplification factor is represented by Gm. Now come to the last configuration, that is the trans resistance amplifier. Here we have just changed the signals. Now at the input side, input signal is current and output signal is voltage. We have just swapped the position of current and voltage, and now this amplifier is known as trans resistance amplifier. Why? Because here the gain can be represented by output signal upon input signal, and we know that V by I can be represented as resistance. So here the amplification factor is represented by Rm. So now let us see the modeling of this circuit. So first draw this dashed line circuit. So definitely the input is represented by Ri. Then at the output side we have to see that we have to implement a voltage source or a current source. Now let us see from this symbol, the output signal is a voltage, so definitely we have to draw the voltage source over there, and here you can see that the dependent voltage source can be represented as plus minus in a square box. So here a voltage source is connected, and if voltage source is there, then definitely there is a output resistance which is in series with this voltage source. So this is how we can draw the circuit, and now external component we can attach, because we have entered a input from this Is current source, and obviously the Rs will be in parallel with this current source, and similarly at the output we have connected a RL. For here I hope you can understand this equation, because it is a current source, so input impedance should be as low as possible, and definitely for the voltage at the output terminal, output resistance should be as less as possible. So this is how we can derive the gain factor for this trans resistance amplifier. So this is all about the classification of different amplifiers and their modeling. Now in this slide I have just introduced the concept of feedback. Till now we have studied only the amplifier block, but in this along with this amplifier we can add two type of feedbacks, either it positive feedback or negative feedback, that depends on the position or that depends on the phase of this feedback signal. The feedback systems are sometimes better than the open circuit, or you can say always better than the open circuit. If we get some feedback, then definitely we can improve the performance of the overall circuit. So in case of amplification, generally we use this negative feedback, and in the next slides just see the advantage of negative feedback. Negative feedback basically used to stabilize the gain. that is also used to reduce the nonlinear distortion. With the help of negative feedback, we can reduce the effect of noise. So in case of amplification, there are so many advantages of using this negative feedback. Like we can extend the bandwidth of the amplifier, we can modify the input output impedances with the help of this negative feedback. The only disadvantage is there is a reduction in the circuit gain. If we use negative feedback, there are so many advantages, but there is one disadvantage, that is it will reduce the gain of the circuit. But in place of gain, we want these parameters, like we need a stabilized gain. Either we get very high gain, so it's better to get a modify or moderated gain, but it should be stabilized. The nonlinear distortion should be less, the effect of noise should be less. So in case of amplification or amplifier, we generally use the negative feedback, although positive feedback has its own applications, but amplifier we use the negative feedback. So here you can see that the basic structure of negative feedback amplifier, where this is the source signal and this is the input signal. If I remove this below line, then definitely it is similar to the amplifier modeling which we have studied in this lecture. The only change is we have added this black line along with this network which is known as feedback network B, and from here if you derive the expression for the gain with feedback, gain without feedback we have individually studied for each configuration, but if I calculate the gain with feedback, then we can get that this expression, that gain with feedback is equals to open loop gain divided by 1 plus A beta, where this A beta is the loop gain. So that will reduce the gain of the amplifier. So further in the different application of amplifier, we will see the accommodation of this basic structure to study the different amplifiers. So this is all from my side for this lecture. Thank you very much.